policies, or positions of City World Media, LLC, or its affiliates. All shows are produced with full participant consent. City World Media does not claim ownership of any third-party music featured and uses all tracks only with proper permissions or licenses granted by their respective rights holders. City World Media operates in accordance with fair use and digital broadcast guidelines on all platforms. From my city to your world, we are City World. Thank you for watching.
Oh no, I'm not trying to save you.
You ain't gotta get no conversation to fuck with a nigga like me. Body positivity. You ain't gotta get no conversation to fuck with a nigga like me.
As above, so below. But you can't make a house right from my home. So if you find one, just make her so.
She at the niggas like she all gold. We hustle so we never have to borrow. Selfish pudding, baby, why you acting hard though? Talking about you need some help with that car note.
Fast world, fast pockets. And I got the Johnny Rocket. Always stay above tax bracket.
Take that from me. No time for niggas acting funny. I give you the world, we for my money. Give you the world, we for my money. I got my keys, can't take that from me. No time for niggas acting funny. I give you the world, we for my money. Give you the world, we for my money. She hit me, say she wanna play. She said, when can we go on a date? I told her that I'm out the way. She said, how long will you be out the way?
I'm on CPT time. I'm CMT time. That's what I call my me time. But understand that
People that make some money, get wet, push it hard to find. Bullshit, but I don't got time. We don't give a fuck about your
Pretty
side.
like a professional. Is you talking, is you trying to get sexual? Get to walking if you're playing, be respectable. Fuck it, be just letting you know.
I got my keys, can't take that from me. No time for niggas acting funny. I give you the world, we for my money. Give you the world, we for my money. I got my keys, can't take that from me. No time for niggas acting funny. I give you the world, we for my money. Give you the world, we for my money.
Give me the world, but not money. Ain't no recognition. It's a sign of holiness. I just wanted to let y'all know I give you everything, and I'm glad you can have some money.
What's good? What's good? What's goody? It's your buzzing cousin Ghost Boogie. Check it out, man. Tonight we've got a great episode for you, family. CMT Miraculous is a producer, artist, and a Bay Area music architect whose story starts with a Casio keyboard, Prince's 1999 funk record, DJ culture, and the kind of Oakland foundation you cannot fake. As a part of Ski and CMT legacy, his work connects to records and eras tied to Spice One, TRU, the Luniz, Master P, Ice-T, Ice Cube, Jayo Felony, Be Legit, Yukmouth, Quinn, Mistah, F.A.B, Too Short, Clyde, Carson, the Frontline, and much more. That is not one moment. That is decades of sound, survival, business lessons, and Bay Area history running through the same story. Tonight, we are going past the credits. We're talking about the rooms, the records, the lessons, the split, the rebuild, and what Oakland still means in the music industry, period, and in hip hop. Tonight, we're welcoming the one and only CMT Miraculous to B-Boys Underground. And without further ado, let's get into it. Ladies and folks, we got G-Dash Fresh and CMT Miraculous. What's goody, folks? How are y'all doing?
Yeah, yeah. What's good, man?
What's going
Man,
on? B-girls, B-boys, underground. Welcome. I'm out of Cincinnati, Boogie in Denver. We got CMT Miraculous out of Oaktown. We all
Yes,
over the
sir.
map.
We
We
full
all over the
town
map.
business up in here.
Covering all points. And I want to give a shout out as we start, because when I heard Luniz and Yukmouth, rest in peace to DJ Underground. He was a little bit older than me. He was in my record pool. This
rest in
brother
peace.
lived and breathed rap a lot. So whenever we have a
Me
record,
too.
we whenever we had a record pool meetings, we talking about whatever. He's like, when we gonna get the rap a lot? I said, hold on, nigga, we gonna get the rap a lot. He was his rep. He'll take a bullet for Scarface. Actually, Scarface was at his funeral, but he had set up a interview with Yukmouth when Yukmouth was in Cincinnati. We sat down in his studio, had a real nice live interview. Shout out to Black Sheep. He recorded that. So I just heard that
That's cool.
some of the clientele you've worked with, my brother. It just
Right
reminded
on,
me.
right on, right on.
Yeah, man. And salute. Man, CMT, been looking forward to getting this. I gotta give a big shout out to the one and only homegirl DJ Just Delicious for linking us up and making
Show.
this happen. And we're gonna
Yes,
have
sir.
we were
What's
supposed to
good?
have her yesterday, but she has some things going on and had
hmm
to reschedule. So we're gonna get her probably within the next 2 weeks. We'll have her uh up and going on that episode.
That's what's
But
good. Shout out to
much
DJ Delicious. Appreciate you.
yeah, she's in our thoughts and prayers and much love to her. Great
hmm
peeps. And so good to have you, family. So what we just got done hearing was Give You the World, right?
Oh
And
man, yes,
that
sir.
was
Give
with
you the word.
Izrell, right, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it,
Um,
man. Tell us about that, fam.
yeah, man. That record. But first, I want to say shout out to the homie. AG Cream City. He the one brought the beat. I'm Cause right now I'm in my Dr. Dre era right now. So
Okay.
I'm using other producers and then making them better. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to AG. He brought it. Um, Izrell heard it and was like, "Man, what we gonna do?" And I thought a concept of let's approach it. Let's do some like funkadelic Parliament, man. That's got that kind of feel. And I was like, let's bring that old character out, Sir Nose, but his name is Sir Illuminous,
Okay.
so you know, um, that was the concept. And then Israel, shout out to Israel. I want to give props to the homie Israel because he's not just one of these dope hip hop writers. What I'm saying, like his background go deep into like real music theory. So he's really like my backbone for like getting like putting these records together, arranging them and stuff like that. So
One of your like a muse.
sort of, but I mean, but he the type that puts in the work as well.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta put that work
So
in.
yeah, so man, I just want to say shout out to those guys, AG and Israel, because they helped really bring the picture that I had in my head, you know, and put it out and lay it out the way it came out, which I think is, to me, it's got the Parliament-Funkadelic vibe. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, we're from
Oh,
Ohio originally, and funk, I'm sorry. That funk Ohio. That's the
There you
birthplace of
go.
it,
the
baby.
There
land
you
of
go.
the funk. It's with your lakesides, your zaps,
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that slave, and you got your
Mm-hmm.
Bootsy Collins, all of that.
Yeah.
Ohio mud, Ohio blood. It runs through it, man. And that's the one thing that the reason why, I was always super gravitated towards the West Coast sound myself. And, of course, East Coast was the first ones that were out there, and of course, caught my ear and made me fall in love with hip hop. But as soon as I started hearing, some of the infusion of funk, you know, and the West Coast took that and picked that flag up and went with it all the way
Hmm.
through,
Oh man, for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, so I mean, like that all automatically had my ear from the jump, man. And
It's like that funk. It's like funk matched the weather better out on the West Coast. That
yeah,
funk, yeah, 'cause
Man,
we
man,
listen to funk, but then winter would come around. So, but it's like different weather all year round out
right.
we were in a funky mood.
here.
I can dig it.
Yeah, man. So again, welcome to B-Boys Underground. So, like we always do about this time, it's time for us to get into the first question, man. And the first question is the most important question. And that question is, please tell these folks that are here, B-Boys, B-Girls, CMT, what is your first memory that you have associated with hip hop? Why is it important? How did it impact you? And what was so significant about that memory that put you on the path to where you are today, which has got a crazy, crazy backstory and a lengthy resume?
Man. So when I was young, I was interested in funk music as we talking about right now. But
Yes, sir.
the group that wasn't really in the funk as much, they was more like disco funk, was Earth, Wind and Fire, right?
Ooh,
So
yes,
my
sir.
yeah, so my favorite song was Let's Groove,
Oh yeah.
and that I was always into that the synthesized vocoder sound.
Hmm.
And I remember being at Macy's, they had this Casio. Now it didn't sound, it wasn't able to do the voice, but the tone that it was able to produce. Macy's at back in the day, Macy's used to have these keyboards in display. It had like electronic display department. They used to have these keyboards just sitting out. You could just play on them. So one of them had the Let's Groove sound. I told Moms, give me that. But once I got it, realized I didn't have a talk box tube and all that. I was like, I can't do none of that, right? And I couldn't play anyway. But I got the keyboard same day, Christmas, and my cousin came through, and he's like, "Hey, cuz, that's a nice little present you got. Let me show you something." So he put my fingers on the keyboard and showed me how to play Prince 1999. Ever since then, man, I was like, "Oh yeah, this music thing is. If that's how you do it, I was hooked
Mm.
ever since."
My dad had a Casio keyboard, like probably 83, 84, and he couldn't keep me off that thing, man. I was always listening
I
to the
know.
different
And
sounds.
then they had them little pre-beats on
The
there, them
pre-beats,
pre-recorded
Mhm.
beats.
they
With
were whack as hell,
but
but they
Whack,
still
but hey, man, I was using the shit out of them motherfuckers.
hell yeah.
I think I got the same story of getting that Casio keyboard, save a little money, and it's like it can't do what I wanted, what I thought it was gonna be able to do. But it's like it's a little starting scratch pad to jump off. Like you couldn't record your own, what you was playing. You couldn't, you could only do what the add to the pre-recorded stuff. So it was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
eh. But I still, actually,
Right.
I still got it in the garage somewhere.
That's what's up, man. I still
Yeah.
got mine, but it's battery acid done ran through it, so I just keep
Yeah,
it as a
yeah,
for show.
memento.
Hey, if you still have that, yeah, that's something you cannot get rid of, fam. I mean,
Nah.
I wish I'd have never got rid of or I wish my mom would have never threw out my very first Fisher Price record player, but that's another story. She threw away all my
Oh,
toys. Like that was the thing. My mom was
uh,
cold blooded, man. She like
Man, that
she
was
she
her duty. They do that.
they
And
did
then
like if you don't pick
and then
this shit
ask
up
you
off the
later.
floor, I'm gonna throw it away.
No, they wait till
Come
you
home
on
from
them.
school and be
Yeah,
like, "Where my
you throw it away. Then they ask you,
shit
no,
at?"
well, hold on, here's the favorite thing. You didn't want that, did you?
Mm.
After you threw it away?
You threw away Luke. Yoda and Darth Vader? What? Come on, man. No,
You
yeah.
wasn't using. You wasn't playing it with them.
You
I
wouldn't have
ask
left
me
it on the floor.
before.
Nah, man. So that's dope, man. And with what was the first hip hop song that you had though that you can remember like making an impact on you when you first heard it and you was like, oh, what is this? Because like you said, you grew up listening to music, funk, and that was in and popping, being in Oakland, right?
Right.
When and what were your first memories and when did it first
Oh
cross the
man, I could
bow
tell
in
you right
Oaktown?
off the back right now. I
Yeah,
could
what's
tell
that?
you right off the back. So my sister was 6 years older than me. She was going to Fremont High in Oakland, and she used to take me to her high school dances. Now that ain't appropriate because I think I was 12 and or no, I was 11, and they in there filling on booty and doing all kind of stuff, and that was like foreign to me. But when I was there, I didn't care. All I cared about was the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
The DJ was, man, I just love how he was like mixing the records and people was responding. But there's one record he put on, and I was like, what the hell is that? It was Jam Master Jay, Run DMC,
Mm,
and how he was cutting and scratching on that. Because, their first single, Suck MCs, there was none of that. There was no scratching on there. So when it came out with Jam Master Jay, it was like, what? You going back and forth on a turntable making that noise? Yeah,
Hooked.
man. When I heard that, I was like, I want to do that.
Mm, absolutely.
Yeah, man. That was the record that did it for me.
man. Hey, look, salute to that. And then so that was about a time when you were 12 years old,
Yep.
you became a DJ. So was
Yeah.
that memory what inspired you to be like, all right, this is where this is next and this is where I'm at and what I'm doing?
Well, as a kid, it's a hobby.
Yeah.
So I know when I came home from school, that's all I wanted to do was DJ and be creative. But I don't, we didn't get serious until I met Ski. When I met Ski, that was when we was like, okay, let's start making records because we got Too Short out here putting out records and he's doing well. Why can't we try to do the same? And as well
Mhm.
as others rappers at the time that's doing well, I mean, independently.
I got you.
What were some of those like other than Too Short? I think I know some, but what do you remember on that in that era?
Definitely E40, which I'll be honest, I did not like his style at all. Like, ugh. That's where I was at with it. He
Yeah,
really
I
had to
get
grow on me.
you. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. You had Too Short had this partner he used to rap with, Freddie B. I
Hmm.
don't know if you know about that story, but yeah, like, and he used to put out records, and then there was like a whole bunch of like clones that was putting out a bunch of records that you
Hmm.
probably wouldn't know at that time.
Right, just kind of copying what was already out
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, then we had Dangerous Dane. Dangerous Dane was like the man at the time, so we was looking at him, watching how he was moving.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
And I remember like, Too Short, people don't even realize like Too Short started releasing uh records like by 83, 82, 83. And because
Yeah.
I've got his CD anthology of every single, it was like a 3 disc or a 4 disc
Mhm.
anthology that came out that had everything pre-jive on it. And you know what I mean? Like
Huh.
all of the albums that basically, he put out there. And it sounded rough that he was putting out of the trunk, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, his
Yeah.
story
I
is
mean,
legendary.
those were records that nobody have ever heard before, and he was telling these nasty stories that,
Freaky
it
tales.
was yeah, it was just so brand new. It was like, man. And then you couldn't wait till the next tape come out, you know?
Hmm.
So it was just he really had the game locked on the underground scene.
Yeah. The circle back though, you mentioned funk and it being, why do you think funk more so, like when I think of like the East Bay sound, right? And or like, that entire Bay Area sound. It's always super, super funk. It's like got that slap to it, and it's just
Hmm.
it really leans into that, right? And
Yeah.
what was it
I think
about funk music that resonated in that area in that area in the Bay?
um I'd probably say like the side shows, the '67 Mustangs and Cougars, like that whole sideshow era brought it to where you would play old school, and your old school music you was playing funkadelic, and
Hmm.
everybody knows. Okay, yeah, the doo wop sounded good, but that funkadelic, that bass line was rumbling in your trunk. So I think that's we just gravitated towards the bass line. That bass line.
That
I mean, we
move.
like 808, yeah, no doubt, but bass line was previous before the 808 was introduced. So this is
Absolutely.
something we never let go.
Yes.
And the bass line is part of a melody. We we there's a lot of musicians out here in the town, so we associate funk with musicianship and melodies and chords. So all of that kind of like is more important to us than the 808, where like the South might be their thing, but the bass line is like,
It's the
when you had
foundation.
that, if you had a, if you had an old school, you had these speakers, woofers called kickers.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
we
kickers
had some
were
kick.
like the mid lows. They didn't really handle the low end like that. They handled
Hmm.
that bass line. So the bass line was all in the mid low. It wasn't really in the sub like that.
Hmm.
So you had some kickers, man. You was in there. You was rumbling through the hood.
In the trunk. In
Yeah.
the
I think
trunk.
I think what I said earlier too, and then that it's constantly good weather year round. So
Hmm.
you're gonna drop the top. So now your bass
Yes.
is really just flourishing. So you're driving by, boom, 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 something funky's playing. I think that
Yeah.
tied into it too with that just feel good, good funky music, top
Yeah.
down, nice weather, girls in their halter tops and bros in their tank tops. Just play that funk.
Yep. There
I
you
mean,
Do
I
go.
just
you
picture the scene.
There you go.
do you have like a favorite funk song outside of the Earth, Wind and Fire? One that you say, like, if you were to think of, or just like maybe more so album or anything that you go to or gravitate towards or gravitated towards early on that you can remember?
What's crazy is like as much as I was on the funk,
Yeah.
I don't even play it like I used to.
Right.
but if I was to just pick one out just go back, Aqua Boogie is my all time favorite
Shout
Mm.
out to
partner.
Aqua Boogie. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Aqua Boogie is all time favorite. And
Hell
then Knee
yeah.
Deep after that. It was like the
Oh
two.
yeah.
I mean,
You
that's the
know,
party starter. You can't
there you go. There you
black 'em,
go.
black 'em, black 'em, black
And
'em.
that's why I like it because already and when I was like 12, 13, you could go to any party and they would, man, start off with Aqua Boogie and end it off with Knee Deep. And man, that's your 30 minutes right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Knee Deep
Long
was
play.
15.
Right.
As a DJ, that was a bathroom break
Yeah,
song,
I
man.
was
There
about
you
to say
go.
bathroom break, wipe
There
the
you
sweat
go.
off, chill out, let everybody
Yeah.
go ham on it.
I heard it
Yeah.
through the grapevine by Roger was another 15-minute song. Of course,
Yes, it
Marvin
was.
Gaye's
Yeah.
got to give it up off the whole side of off the Live at London Palladium album. Like, it's like put that on.
Now
We
them
got to
Zap
Man.
albums, what they have like 2 cuts aside or 3
right,
cuts?
yeah,
Right.
They
three.
was all 15
Especially
minutes.
especially the many facets of Roger. That one, it was just that was crazy.
Man.
But to fast forward to when you started making beats, right? And
Mhm.
started to be enter into the production uh game and everything
Mhm.
like that. But it also mentioned earlier on that you were in a group though, before we get into the hip hop
Oh
piece,
yeah,
right?
man. When I was so that started when I got the keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a childhood friend. He was like dope on the bass. Man, I don't know. He might have started playing bass when he was 3 or some shit. 'Cause that's how
Mm.
dope he
And he's a
was.
pretty notable
Yeah,
artist as
yeah.
well.
He played with Santana, all the greats, man. And
All the greats.
yes, all the greats. Yeah, yeah, man. He saw that I had the keyboard. He was like, "Hey, man, I see you doing your thing. Let's put a group together." And that only lasted for about like a year. But after that, me and him became just like real close, and was still creating beats, and even though we were like always at it creating beats,
Yeah.
he still had that upper hand, man, because his bass, his knowledge of that bass always had him ahead of me. And I used to be just like, this motherfucker, boy, killing. But
So
that's my mentor. I tell everybody, man, Troy Lampkin, man, man, shout out to Troy Lampkin. That's my mentor. That's my buddy, man. Hit me up, by the way, if you get this interview, man, because we need to make some little new hits.
Yeah, it was holler back,
Yeah,
Troy Lampkin. And
yeah, for
I
sure.
understand that, like that motivation, like, damn, that you're just sitting there like, I wish I'd have done that. That motherfucker.
Yep, he would
That's
make me like
that's
that.
so
Yep, he would
nasty.
make
I'm
stuff,
going
and
to
I'd
the
be like,
lab now.
yep.
I
He
like
would
that.
have me
I like
feeling
that.
like that. He was that dope.
hell yeah, man. So fast forward into when you first started uh, making beats and producing and getting into making uh into the hip hop game, right? And
Right.
was it you and Ski that linked up first?
Yeah, cause I wasn't thinking about making beats. I was just really heavy on my DJ, and then I would just mess around on the keyboard trying to teach myself how to play the piano.
Okay.
But I had a childhood friend that hooked me up with him. They went to school together, and crazy story about that is that the first before we actually hooked up, I seen him like maybe a month before. I was coming down my stairs with some skates. I almost fell, and they was across the street. They saw it. I almost fell. They was cracking up, and I looked like, "What the fuck y'all looking at?"
Right?
Right. So then Ski was about to come be like, "Nigga, I'm gonna show you what the fuck I'm looking at." But I had this cousin that could whoop everybody ass, and everybody was scared of him. So that's why I was talking shit. I was hiding behind my cousin. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was a
motherfucker.
little mark. Anyway, so but anyway, he came through next week because I had the whole DJ set up in my basement. He brought him by. He was like, "Man, I see you doing your DJ thing, man. I think you need a rapper to make this complete." I was like, "Sure, let's do it." So first, we started. I had my little Casio, and we was just making beats, like taking like France, right? From Houdini.
hmm
That started off with just a drum beat. So we would just make the record go back and forth, record that on a cassette, and then play it, and then get another cassette recorder, play the bass line while the beat is playing, and then play that, record it again to get the chords. Yeah, man, we was overdubbing our ass off. Like really.
Hell yeah. You know,
Improvised for tracking. Yeah.
That
what I
was
love
before four tracking, yes.
what I love
Right.
about
Yeah. That you was doing it just. I've done the same process, and it muddies up the tape, but
Yep,
it's
muddy as
something
hell.
you can do.
Something we
yeah.
could do at the time, man.
What I love about hip hop, everybody that we ever interview, coming up in the game right now or historically, it's basically for the love of hip hop. And when you want to start doing it, it seems like, the folks that will figure out any way to do it, to be creative. If you really are about
Mhm.
it and you want to do it, you will figure out how to make it happen with what you have and not make an
Yep.
excuse as to why you
There you
can't do
go.
it. It's like, I got this and we're going to do it this way to get it
There you
done.
go. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
So when you first, started working with him and like, could you walk me through like the first real studio moment that you had with Ski? And if you don't know, for the folks that don't know who we're talking about when we say Ski, EA Ski, uh, what did he bring to the room? What did you bring? And when did you folks know that the chemistry, was serious?
Um. So when we first started, we started just like for Christmas, we was asking our parents for equipment and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So maybe like a couple of years, we ended up with a Roland D50, uh, Roland 606,
Okay.
and the what's that the Insonic,
Yeah.
Insonic, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, the
Was it an
Insonic.
ASR 10?
No, it wasn't the ASR 10. It was the Insonic 16, I think, or something like that.
Oh, the one before it then,
One
huh?
before that, right?
Right,
Yep,
I got you. What
yep.
was that one?
And then he ended up with a 8-track recorder.
Okay.
Yeah, that Tascam. It was Tascam
Ask him.
238 or something like that.
Now we cooking.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So, yeah, man, we just started putting records together, and we was really just putting records for us. Trying to, do like I say, do the Too Short thing, and we ended up putting out a single called High Steppin'. You know, record cover, corny as hell. I had on a Bill Cosby sweater.
Was it a
Uh,
Coogee?
nah.
Yeah.
I
Hey.
don't even think Coogee was out back
It was
then.
it that one that Theodore had that
I
old
don't
girl
know,
man.
but
It was
but
it was
we
it was missing a C,
we
a
we really
Uji.
was trying to figure that whole thing out.
Hmm. The
Yeah,
look.
man. So we started doing stuff like that, and we ended up hooking up with this guy. I think his name was Anthony Perry. He had he was one of them street cats. He had a lot of money, and he was actually cool with the guy that was putting music out for Richie Rich.
Okay.
Okay. Shout out
Okay.
to Richie
Yeah,
Rich.
so how that whole um, thing hooked up is we met DJ Duro, and we would go to DJ Duro house, and we would take our equipment over there and make beats. And then later on, he started getting the same equipment we got. We didn't have to do nothing but just take our disc over there and just making beats and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
this time, you know, I'll keep it a buck. Ski was making beats back then too, so he was doing more work with DJ Duro than more than I. I was still in school, and he was older than me, so he would have more time to do music. So like, I would get out of school, and he would be playing these beats for he made at DJ Duro, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, all right. One of those or two of those beats just happened to be Richie Rich's "Don't Do It" and the Flow to 1 to 5.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So that and that came from these records were you know the 4105 that sample that was man created from a SB 1200. Not me. Ski like I said again, Ski was doing beats back then. So when he
Hmm.
went to Daryl house, he like left his disc over there and and one day we was at McDonald's and the radio was on and we heard the 4, the 1, the 5, and we was like, that's our beat.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. So that's just one of the stories. But yeah, man, we just was
What was that like though? Hold on though. I mean, let's not skip past that because I mean, that's that whenever you hear, and talk to anyone that they can remember the first time that they heard their own music on the radio. Like,
hmm
I mean, what were like the emotions that you had, like that were going through your mind?
the emotions was like, what the hell? That's the sample we use. And then my second emotion was like, that's why the fuck I don't like using samples, because everybody can use this. Anybody can use this shit. But at the time, yeah, I didn't know what was going on because again, Ski was at the studio more than I was, and I think I've been there like twice, where Rich and all these people would do all these studio work at. I mean, Ski would do work at DJ Durr House, but then they would go to this spot where Rich and everybody, all these other rappers would be. So somehow the beat got made it there, and Rich was there, and he ended up, laying it, and whatever, folding 1 to 5, don't do it. But yeah, man, we heard that, and I was asking him, I was like, how would that happen? So he was laying it down, told me, he was in the studio with DJ Durrell and all this stuff, and I was like, whoa, okay. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember how that got resolved, or if it ever got resolved, or
Mm.
it got confronted. Cause Ski was like the businessman. I mean, so I just let him like, okay, that's an issue, handle it.
Right.
So I don't even know if he said, "Hey man, you're an asshole for that," or I have no idea what's the outcome. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a process from that song getting to that the level where it's on the radio. There's a lot of
yeah,
steps involved and
a
Hell
like
lot of
yeah.
and
steps.
it's our
Yep.
shit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
But it's a sample, so you can't. You kind of can't.
did
You
he
got to kind of
change
let that go.
anything? Did he change anything or he just kind of bit the sample?
Yeah, he just bit the sample. He
Okay,
changed
yeah.
the beat wasn't like the original beat,
I got you. Yeah.
so we could
Yeah.
just say he stole the sample.
Got you. Got
But
you.
the
Yeah.
Don't Do It record that was original. That was original. That was all Ski.
Okay.
So yeah,
Gotcha. Now,
yeah,
question for you, was the Spice One first album, was that you and Ski's first like big project that broke?
yeah. Shout out to Ant Banks
Man,
because Ant
iconic.
Banks, he produced the EP that Spice One had first, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
sir.
So when he when Spice One got the Jive deal, Ant Banks, Ant Banks. I'm gonna say this because Ant Banks was an asshole, because he had the clout, right? So he would come by after he finished like some songs and just be slapping it, knowing it's gonna come out after he finished it, right? So he just be coming over just shoving it in our face. But at the same time, he was a you know real cool cat and was like, hey man, Spice needs some new. I'm not the only one that's doing beats. He needs some more beats, so I need to go holler at his executive producer at the time and see if y'all could do some stuff with him. So
Yeah,
you know, we
you
went
didn't
over there.
feel
So
it.
shout out to Aunt Banks, man, for hooking that up because that was a real good look.
OG
You
right
know.
there. Aunt
Yeah,
Banks,
for
man.
sure. Yeah.
I mean, I love Aunt Banks as far as everything
Yeah.
that he did with Too Short, Dangerous
Come on,
Music. I
man.
mean, he's
Undeniable.
he's
Mhm.
he's a master at it too, right? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
much love to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, I gotta tell you, Spice One was I had that the day it came out. I remember like getting to the record store and it was Tuesday and getting to the record store and I was looking at the guy. I was like, what's hot? What just hit? What's going on? He was like, you want this, and I grabbed that and was like, ooh, like and I was hooked. And even uh the second album that you guys did too, but I mean, not even to fast forward to that, but I mean East Bay Gangster, right? And
Yeah.
what I want to ask you about is because the thing that set Spice besides his ability to flip it, right? And do the reggae vibe and then go super fast and then flip and change cadences and flows
Man.
and was on that gangster shit. But the thing you guys laid the foundation for him to be able to do it. The music again, it had that atmosphere to it, that sound that helped. Like I think of like Murder Show, right? Just
Yeah.
that Murder Show. The and I know that's not off that first album. That's off the
Yeah.
second
Shout
album.
out to Blackjack. He produced that.
Got you. But like
Yep.
but that's still you guys were all working together
Oh
and
yeah.
the sound was cohesive regardless
Hmm.
of if there were other producers that were brought in. I mean, it sounded
Oh
like a
yeah, man.
finished.
We was all like had the conglomerate together. Like Blackjack is the one. Now the Trigger Got No Heart, the remix was the original version at
Okay.
first, and Blackjack is the one who sent me the sample of that record.
Okay.
He was like, "Man, I don't know what to do with it, but shit, take it in. I know you'll fuck it up." So that's how
Mm.
that happened, man. Blackjack sent me the record and was like, "Man, see what you could do." And we did the beat, played it for Spice, and he was like, "Hey, man, I'm doing a soundtrack for
And it's
Men's
to
Society, and that'll
society.
be perfect." Yeah, man.
And there
So
was the two versions on it.
right. So we finished the remix version first, and
Yep.
Jive Records was like, "Yeah, it's dope, but we not trying to clear no samples right now. We'll go remix it."
Mm.
Yep.
Got
And
you.
so we remixed it. That's came up with that.
Hell yeah, man. What was that like to get that placement on a soundtrack, especially associated with one of the most historic movies in my lifetime? I love that movie, man.
Oh
Like,
man, it was crazy because it seemed like once that happened, it was like now we moving.
Hmm.
We checking out the behind the scenes of the movies now. Like we really in getting involved with the business side and film side and like that just started just blossoming after that happened. It was just like whoa. So it was a great feeling, man, meeting the Hughes brothers and that whole experience was just awesome, man. And to see how they shoot films, I remember seeing the cinematographer guy. And then they don't do this anymore. But this fool had on a full body suit that hold the camera. And shit. I was just
oh,
like,
I got you.
yeah, man.
Steady
So
cam harness, the steady
yeah,
rig. Yeah.
that whole yeah, man. I was like in awe with the whole like Hollywood stuff, man. So that's
Right.
you know,
Dope. Dope experience. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like when you guys had 187 he wrote, and that came together. I mean,
Mhm.
when you made that track and you heard that come together, did you guys know like this is gonna be one of the ones that's gonna go?
Oh man, we actually didn't, man. We was at the time, the second time we came around with the Spice One record, we was just experimenting, as you could say, because we didn't want to do what we did previously.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just played just records that were going to be different, and that dumping them in ditches record just seemed to catch his eye or his ear, I should say. And which I don't blame him because it was well put together beat, and you know history made with that. He put that that reggae stuff to it, man, and it was out of there.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, crazy, crazy, crazy. And then you also like the No Limit TRU Master P connection, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
So
mean,
how
you're
that?
there early on, like the
Yeah,
Yeah,
early
man.
early
when
Master
days.
he's
P
skinny.
was so Master P had a record store in Richmond, and that song I was telling you about with the sweater, we was trying to do consignment at his record store.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he heard the beats and was like, "Hey man, y'all do some pretty nice beats. How can we, do something to where, you know, y'all do some beats for me?" And that's just how that happened, man. And we was at it for about a good like 6 years.
Is
Yeah.
there
So
anything memorable about that collab or that time period or I mean this is back when he even had like King George with him and all of
Right,
that
King
stuff,
George.
right?
Yep, yep.
Uh the early makings of the No Limit
What I loved
roster.
mhm.
about P is that and you still see it now. He got that drive to create, money out of whatever.
Wealth.
And I right. So I just remember when we first started doing this music stuff, he had already had his blueprint, So we was just learning. So he would finish his masters. He would drive to Macola Records. I don't know if you ever
Yeah, I
heard of
remember.
Macola Records
Yeah,
back then.
yeah.
Ice
Mm-hmm.
T was on there, Uncle
Yep,
Jam's Army, all of that.
yep.
Yes, sir.
Um, so yeah, he would print his stuff down there. I just remember we finished the masters, and he was like, "Yeah, we driving to L.A. to go print it." I was like, "Now?" It's like, "Yeah, right now." It was like 11 o'clock p.m. He's like, "We gonna get there before they open." And so we got in the car and drove down there to LA and got down there before it opened. I remember we got down there, Ski was driving, and I remember thinking while we was driving, man, I need to drive because this fool be falling asleep on the road. But we made it all the way. I think we was like 3 blocks from Macola. We pull up to the light, and Ski ran into the back of his car at the light.
Oh hell no.
Oh shit.
We're like, what the fuck happened? He's like, man, I fell asleep.
Red Bull wasn't prevalent back then.
Were no such thing. Not even red balls.
No, crazy.
Damn.
But I mean, luckily it was some Mexicans, so they didn't have no insurance, so they was like, oh no, we was good. They wasn't
Like
tripping.
you all right? We all right? We out.
Yep.
Yeah. No harm, no foul.
Right? Yeah, man. So that's just the type of stuff P was on, man. He was like, it needs to be done now.
Mm,
So that's what I love about him.
yeah.
Was he cool to work with and stuff? As far as I've
Oh
always
man, he was
heard the
cool. He
stories
was
about
funny as
him
shit, man. He
taking care of all of
have you
his
cracking.
artists.
Oh man, he was good at that. He was definitely not one of those shysters. At least not dealing
Your
with him.
experience.
Yeah,
Right.
my experience. Yeah, he was up and up. But then, it wasn't much money to make back in, when we was still trying to get there. back
Yep.
in. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I got you.
Great
Yeah.
story.
Man, you transitioned into, you worked on Luniz, of course, Operation Stackola, right?
Mm-hmm.
And working on that project, of course, everybody knows I got 5 on it, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the thing, and that was still to date their biggest album.
Right.
But shout
Yeah.
out to the Luniz.
Loonies and CNH. CNH he was the neighborhood homie we'd always see, and he always be just man. He see us be like, man, when am I gonna get a skin CMT beat, man? Y'all playing. Y'all always acting like y'all gonna give me something. Y'all never give me no beat. So we finally gave him one, and playing Hater was one of the songs. It was inspired by Bobby Caldwell sample. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What you
Mhm.
won't do,
Mhm.
do for love. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's how that
Yeah.
record came together. CNH just basically was hounding us so much that we was like, fuck it, man, here, you know.
Yeah, that
Hell
backed
yeah.
up the other cut. Yeah.
And then, and Yuck and Numb, they came back with that fire. And then the Cat Teddy got on there and laced the hook. Man, out of there.
Dope. Dope song. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
out of
backed up
there.
a
But
good,
yeah, man,
front
shout out to
line.
CNH who he forced that record. And I'm
Shout
glad
out.
he
Shout
did.
out. Shout out to
Shout out.
CNH.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for you. When you were you around or in the studio? Because I know, like, for instance, Tupac and Spice had, a really good relationship. And of course, you had Jealousy's Got Me Strapped was their it was on the B side of Strap on My Side, 12-inch. And it was on that album. Were you
Hmm.
around for that, or did you?
Man, I never had any chance to work with Pac or be around when Pac was, doing work, but it was supposed to come
Gotcha.
right around MTV, the MTV Awards, right
Mhm.
before he went to Vegas.
Yeah,
Mm.
Him and Ski had that conversation. Like he was like, "Man, I'm ready to work with y'all. Let's do it." So that was the plan. You know.
understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, do you have anything fresh on Par?
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay,
I'm just reading this article about
gotcha.
CMT. Go ahead.
Now, like Ice T, Ice Cube, you you worked with Ice T on his 6th album, right?
Right. Yep.
How did that come about?
Well, we was signed to Priority Records. We had like a production deal. So when you got a production deal with these labels, they gonna solicit you to enter their artists. And at the time, Ice T he had just did a deal with them, and he told her he was like, it's like I'm I did this record because I'm really just trying to get that pool on top of my house, and this was a good way to get it done.
I'm trying to get a pool.
Yeah, man, he kept it real with us, man.
Oh shit.
He was always, him and Cube, I love them because they always like pimp pimp the game, like pimp these executives if you gonna do something, if you gonna pimp something, pimp these executives and get what you need. So every time when I hear Q say something like that, I think about Ice T when he was like, "Yeah, man, I just needed this pool. That's all."
I
Yeah.
mean, one of my favorite Ice-T stories is basically his first meeting at the record label. They were like, "Let me hear what you got," and was like, if you go buy hand grenades from a person, do they
Right.
let you, throw and test a hand grenade out first? Like, nah, you like,
Yeah,
you
that
know
was
what I mean? He was
yeah,
always, I mean,
yeah.
that's
Running
that
that game.
that game is in it. And then you got to work with Cube on the War and Peace album, right?
Yeah, man. So we worked with Cube for like the first time was like the Friday soundtrack. That
Okay.
was our first
With
meeting.
EA Ski, so that track.
Yeah, blast if I have to.
Yes, blast if I
So,
have to.
um, so what happened? I think we was we was sending beats. We were sending beats to him around the time we was shooting. I think we was shooting blast if I have to shoot it. It was around that time, and then he loved the beat, but he was like, "Oh no, I think what it was. We was doing a remix for a song off of remember the B sides EP that he was coming out with.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
remix for one. I can't remember what song it was, but he didn't like the clap. So instead of him telling us himself, she was like, "Nah, I want him to tell me he don't like the clap." But he never contacted or nothing. So by the time it was time to promote the Friday soundtrack. It was a show on Sunset. I think it was called the. I don't even want to name the building, but it was on Sunset, and we was promoting. It was gonna be a show. Cube was gonna do his set, and it's gonna be everybody that's on the soundtrack was doing the show. We pull up for soundtrack. Cube is outside sitting like he's just sitting on the bench on Sunset, like just on Front Street,
Damn.
like you just sitting out here on the
And what year
bench.
was this?
This was like 95, 94,
Okay.
95,
So
somewhere
this
around
is
here.
right after the Friday soundtrack?
This is Friday soundtrack when it's
So,
out
oh,
and we
okay, yeah,
promoting
that's
it.
94, 93, 94. Yeah.
94. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we pull up and Ski is like, man, let me out. So we get out and first thing Q says, y'all niggas didn't want to change that snare. So from then, that kind of like broke the ice, and we just kind of, hooked up, and he invited us to his house, and he was working on the West Side Connection record, and we submitted tracks for that. Never made it, but you know, that's how that whole Ice Cube thing happened, man. That snare was what did it.
That's so funny. And Cube, he'll
Yeah.
say some stuff like,
Oh
I
yeah.
think I had a phone in with him on the radio. He would, they got to call all the radios in Cincinnati. He was like, "Yeah, man, y'all the city with the football player." I think it was we had one of the Bengals that became mayor, and it was Cincinnati was infamous for the Simon Lease and the sheriff and trying to ban them from
Arresting
performing.
everybody that came in to perform. Too Short, Tupac,
Yeah.
Ice, NWA,
Yep.
all of
Wow.
them. Like,
Wow.
So this is one of the spots they got nipped in for performing their music, and he remembered that. And he was like, "Yeah, Cincinnati, that's the motherfucking place." I said, "I ain't got nothing to do with that, bro. We showed you love. Yeah, fuck the police. You know what I'm saying?"
yeah, that
Damn.
wasn't us, the community. That was the powers that be, and they assholes to this day. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this. You remember this? I think I got a hold of this song and didn't know where it came from. You did a song, Monica, and you kind of did it something like to the Pee Wee Herman beat. You remember that?
Whoa. Excuse me.
You
Wait a
heard me.
minute. How you know about that?
I was getting these swap tapes and stuff like that. I would get music from all over the place, from East Coast, West Coast, and I was hearing. I was like, "Who did this?" I don't know how
Yo.
and where it came from, but I had a copy of it.
Yo. You did not bring that record up.
Yes, I did.
Yo. Please
That's
send
what
me
we
that
do
record.
here.
I'm looking for that record.
Man, I'm gonna look at my bag. I don't
Yo.
think
You
I
are
have it no more,
fucking
but
me up right now.
If I look through that bag and I find out, which I doubt, but if I did,
So
I'd save it. I'd
that
make it
record
digital.
is the Troy Lampkin record that I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
That was the first song he made. I was like, I wish I made that.
Oh,
I
that
wish
was the one you was like, that motherfucker.
that was the one I wish I made. I had no
Gotcha.
parts of it, but I'm
Okay.
just a fan of it. But yeah, Troy Lampkin all day, man. The Monica song, oh my goodness, he was
Mm,
so ahead of his time with that one.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
man, you was
Spark the memory.
yo, yo, you messing me up with that.
That's what we do. That right,
Uh,
Boogie.
uh, uh.
Yes, sir. That's what
We
we
try
do here. We
we,
like
we
to.
we try to pull one out there. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, just to keep progressing through like all of this history that you've had, man. And I got to give you your props on. I remember when Jayo Felony's uh, fucking track came out. I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with that was my fucking theme song. And I told you before,
Hmm.
uh, before when that first came out, and I had Street Team work with that Half Plenty soundtrack, right?
Oh wow.
And I was banging that motherfucker. Like, and I remember I put it on at Skipper's, and that it I had just gotten it, and I put it on, and it was just instant reaction, like energy. It was just like that was my motherfucking theme song
Yeah,
forever.
that was a
Like I just
banger.
like I'm too sexy for my motherfucking hood.
Yeah,
Like
he was
that shit,
killing it,
right?
man. He was
It
killing
just
it.
killed it. Like
Yeah.
where did y'all come up with on that beat? Because that beat
Oh man,
just is
let me cut
so
you off right then and there,
fucking
man. I didn't make
stank.
that beat. We didn't
You didn't
make
make
that
that
beat.
beat?
We didn't make that. We just did like some of the album cuts on that album.
Okay.
Ah, I
Okay.
got
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
What were the tracks that you did on that album?
We did Nitty Gritty, the
Okay.
5 Minutes of Funk remake,
Okay.
and
Nasty.
Hustling in My Jeans, and say, why you biting me, mama? Why you biting me, mama? Cause son, I don't know the name of it, but that song, and there's one more I can't remember on there. Yeah.
I got you. Like, man, just amazing, amazing, amazing work and artists. I mean,
Right
right
on.
around that same time, you're working with Crime Boss.
Yep.
Like, how did
Mr.
that,
Mike.
Mr. Mike?
Yeah, man. We
Right.
man, I don't actually remember how we met Tony Draper, who was the
Salute
executive
to
of
Tony
Swab
Draper.
House. Tony Draper, yeah, he hit us up, man, and asked us to do some work, and then flew us out to Texas, and we hooked up with 8 Ball, MJG, and all of that, man. T Mix, and
Much
got in the
love.
studio, and man, he was showing us the Houston vibe out there, and I loved it out there, man. So shout out to Mr. Mike, Thorough, and Crime Boss, all of them that was holding us down out there.
Suave House. Oh, and
Yeah,
I,
man.
I got a Boogie. I
Yes,
actually
sir.
still have my Have Plenty promo shirt. I seen it.
Damn.
It had been buried in some storage, and I found it. It's a little tight, but I might wear it on the. These bodies and shapes change a little bit over the years.
It'll be have plenty of years on you. How about that?
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
be nice.
Real spit.
Oh, we used to get all the
Oh
the
yeah.
stuff we did. We got all the promo stuff, so it was
That's
them
dope.
days. It ain't the same like it used to be.
Oh no, man. I used to love going to the record pool, man, and go get the new record and test it out, see if it worked.
Yeah. What was the record pool out your way? I'm trying to think.
The pros.
The pros. Yes, yes,
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
The
So
pros. Yep.
I'm familiar with them.
Right on. Yeah.
I have
That's
a
my
question for
shits.
you in regards to like making, you know, when you transferred from the West Coast sound, and then they brought you down and you started, working with, more down south artists, and those types of placements. Were there any different types of approaches that you did to the way that you produced or made anything in regards to your
Um,
production work?
well, I say the feel was probably more like how they, get down, but it
Hmm.
wasn't 808 driven. It was more like that vibe, slow, screw vibe, like slow tempo type deals. It was, I think we might have did maybe one up tempo song for one of them, but they were mostly like slow grooves because that's their vibe down south, right?
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, so it was more like that. I would say if I was to put a sound on it, uh, NWA, don't matter, just don't bite it. That type of
Mm,
grooves, you know, them tempos.
lesson one.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, because that was that originally uh they tried to sample Herbie Hancock, Watermelon Man, right?
right.
Yeah, and Herbie said, "Hell nah," and then they had to replay it. He was like, "You're not about to
What?
put that out on my." Yeah, so they had to actually replay it because
I
they
did
tried to
not
go
know that
clear that.
story.
The,
What?
the story that I heard, was I think it came from Yella, if not, I think it was from Yella. And they he was talking about how the original was you know, that sample and they sent it off for
Wow.
clearance and Herbie said, "There ain't no fucking
Mm.
way that you're gonna do it." So they went ahead and ended up replaying what you heard to get, and it
Wow.
ended up being that way. Yeah.
Wow. Didn't know that one.
Because
That's
all
funny
those
as hell
guys
though.
had, they always had guys in there that was playing live
Right.
instrumentation,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
and they just
Shoot,
like,
shout out
fuck
to
it, we'll just
Stan,
play
the
it.
guitar man. We used him
Stan,
too. After
oh,
Oh,
so
okay,
after that,
you've
okay.
worked with
yeah,
him
after
too,
that
yeah.
NWA record, we had to have him too.
Did you work with
Yeah.
Brian Big Bass Gardner?
Nah, we don't work with. We was sorting after him, but we couldn't
Gotcha.
find him.
Mm.
Couldn't
Understood.
find him.
I mean, those are all you. Anybody that ever stared at any type of album credits, artwork or liner notes from
Oh, I'm
listening to
sorry. You
those
said
albums.
Big Bass Brian, like Master and Big Bass Brian, right?
Yeah,
That's what you're talking about?
yeah,
Oh yeah, man. We definitely went after that as well. We went to get the Big Bass Brian sound.
yeah.
Shout out to Matt. What was the master in place? Can't think of it right now, but shout out to that mastering spot in L.A. Man, that place still is the shit. I
I
don't mess with them, but
I might have sent some stuff there if I recall.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know I'm looking at the chat, seeing if it's any questions. I got one. Uh, bucket list of artists you would love to. I
Love to
know you
work with.
almost. Yeah, I know you almost had the shot with Tupac, and that would have been a definite feather in the
Man,
cap. But
man,
who
definitely.
who's on your bucket list of guys you really want to work with and compose and create with?
It's gonna sound. This is gonna sound. I don't know how you're gonna take this. 'Cause y'all gonna teach me.
Spit it out.
Drake. I
Okay,
just wanna. I just wanna make a Drake hit. That's it.
I ain't mad
Not
at
that
that.
I'm a fan of Drake like that, but I know what he bring to the table, and I just want to be a part of that.
Hey,
Word.
I like that idea. I
but
would too.
but like a favorite artist that I'm really like, man. I guess it would have to be. Oh man, that's a hard one, man. Cause I got my few.
All right.
Rakim.
Okay.
That, I know like if we did a record today, oh, it
Rakim, if
would
you're
be it
listening.
would be like
God MC, got him
you know how
producer.
Rihanna came was gone, but she came back with Pharrell with that one record.
Yeah.
I would do rock him like that. We would come back with the best party record ever.
Got you. I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
Dope.
yeah,
Hell yeah,
yeah.
man. The one thing I wanted to ask you is that, you were and have been in so many studio sessions with like bucket list, and bucket list projects, bucket list performers and artists. Uh, what would you say would be one of the most memorable recording sessions that you ever had? And it could be in a good way or a bad way, or just a oh hell
I'll give
no
you two.
way.
I'll give
Perfect.
you two. One of them was the Ice Cube's session with the penitentiary session.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had this door in the studio. You couldn't get out of the mic booth. It had no door handle. You can only get out if we came in and pulled it and let you out.
Oh nah. Mm-mm. Nah. I ain't going in there, fam.
Right.
Fuck that.
The kidnap room.
So it's the first time.
Hey, nigga, we don't like your bars. You ain't coming out yet.
You ain't
Cube didn't pay attention until when he got in there, finished recording and everything. It was time to him to come out. And where the door is at, you can't see nobody. So he walked to the door, and me and Ski looking at each other like he gonna walk back to the window, right? He didn't walk back. He just stuck his head through the window like, nigga, what's up with this? What's up with this door? Man, that was so funny. Cause no other artist like look gave us that look. They just most of them figured it out. They'll like reach under the door and open that
Yeah.
shit. But
Yeah.
Q was like, nigga, y'all niggas trying to kidnap me? He gave us that look like the fuck y'all niggas on.
I'd have grabbed that
That
Mac
was,
like,
that
hey,
was the funniest shit ever, yo.
I would have grabbed that Mac like, Q, we need you to do about 5 more joints before you come out.
Cue the next track.
You worn out, wrap your ass off, nigga.
Nah, you should have told him I don't like that clap.
Right?
Hey, that verse ain't working with the clap, fam. That you gonna have to redo that. You ain't hitting the clap right.
Hey, how you like our clap now?
You're missing the two. You got the one, but you're missing the two.
Right.
Nah,
So
that
my other memorable, it was kind of like a validation. I mean, I don't like to put people business out there, but I'm 50 years old, so I kind of don't give a fuck right
I just
now.
turned 50 this year too. So let it be known.
So, um, my boy Ski didn't. His writing was kind of sloppy. I mean,
Okay.
very sloppy. And we used to have this argument for years. And we go there to work with Dre. We make this song called Dr. Dre and Mr. Ski. And the concept was basically Dr. Dreco, Mr. Hyde. And I'm writing the hook for it, and Ski's writing his verses. So it's time for Dre to get in the booth and do his verse. And he does it. And he comes back out. It's like, oh man, good job. He was like, man, who wrote this shit? Ski, you wrote this shit? I was like, oh, validation. Your handwriting does suck.
Shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh shit.
So I was very pleased to know that Dr. Dre validated that your handwriting was shitty as I said it was.
That's dope. So you actually had an opportunity to work with Dre too.
Oh man, shout out to King T and
Oh
Yukmouth.
man, King
We
T.
was in LA to I think we was in LA for a Yukmouth show, and I think he had a song with what's that? Big Mike from the Ghetto Boys.
Yeah, Big
Big
Mike.
Mike from the
Yeah.
Big Mike from the Ghetto Boys, and so they was down there, and some big fight happened in the like I guess Yuck had funk with somebody. Some cats came in there trying to get him, and Big Mike, he he actually knew some martial arts and was able to fight some fools off. You
Mm.
know, so we got out of there, got back to, and we was with King T too, and we got back to Big Mike's apartment. King T was vibing. We was talking about that whole situation that just went down. He was like, "Hey, I'm about to head over to the studio with Dre, man. I think y'all niggas need to come. He looking for new shit all the time." So, we go over there. He introduces to us, and man, that's how that happened.
That's dope.
Shout out to
Yeah,
King T.
yeah.
And I remember Dr. Dre put out his last album on Aftermath as a homage. You know,
Yes.
didn't do too
Mm.
well, but that first album, King T, I actually got to on the original B Boys Underground on air. We interviewed King T, so that was a pleasure to
Yeah, King
hear him
T the
talk about
homie,
that
man.
first. And you said you did some music for King T,
Nah, we never did, but it was well, we sent them tracks, but it just never happened.
and then get it together. Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah, King T, especially everything that he did with the Liquid Crew, and I mean, just all of it, man. Like King T is an
hmm.
OG. He
Oh
was
man,
produced a lot by, of course, the
man,
legendary DJ Pooh,
man.
who is an
Hey,
icon and
hey,
a
I can say he
fucking
was
legend.
definitely one of my inspirations,
DJ
being a
Pooh.
DJ and
Did you
DJ
ever have a
Pooh, all
chance
of
to
that,
meet him?
man. Man, I didn't get a chance to meet. I haven't met DJ Pooh yet, which is crazy, man. You would think
right
I've
on
been in
that.
all
Yeah,
the circles he's been in, but
Yeah.
I just ain't met him yet.
Understood. Well, he's a
Yeah,
G, man. I mean, from all the way from LL Cool J being, producing
yeah,
LL Cool J's some of his first
man,
stuff all the way to this day, right? And
man, yeah.
you got a chance to work with Cam, and Cam
Oh
and
man, yes,
Pooh,
I
right?
did,
And
man. Cam,
did
yeah,
you
that's the
meet Cam
homie.
through Cube?
Yes, we did make Cam through Cube. Yep, that's how that happened. Yep,
mm,
yep,
Gotcha.
yep,
And shout out to of course um the Lynch Mob. They've got
yep.
a
Lynch
new
Mob.
album
Actually,
Vibes
no.
Up
Let me
coming
take
out.
that back. We met Cam. Had a deal with one of the UMG Universal Music Groups, Umbrella East. Was it East West?
Yeah,
yeah,
East
yeah,
West.
yeah.
Yes,
I remember
East
that
West.
label.
And then yeah, that's how that happened. Cause we ended up doing like a couple remixes for Das Effects.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when we did those remixes, they was like, we doing this Cam record, so
Which
we was like,
remix?
y'all. It was the second single.
Oh, if it's a second say
Second
that's
single.
is it they want effects?
They want effects. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. But that one never made
Damn, I
it.
still got
So
it.
that one never made it either.
Mm.
Eric Sermon ended up taking over that one.
I got you.
Ah, don't you hate that?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's all good. I love having the experience to
Hmm.
work with it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Like I had two Roscos tracks, and he was down. He was working out a patchwork in Atlanta, and then he went up there and hooked up with DJ Premier. My shit went out the window.
damn it.
Yeah, well, that's all good. Experience,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly, man. I love the networking and getting the experience and just being able to just do work.
Absolutely.
You know?
Love of hip
Yeah,
hop.
yeah, for sure.
You know, the one thing I wanted to ask you also would be, if you were to, and when you're working with the younger generation and artists, and especially out of the Bay, is there anything that they don't necessarily get that the older generation had, or do you think that, how do you feel, especially specifically the music coming out of the Bay nowadays at this current time?
And I think I know where you're going with this. I'll give you my opinion about it,
Yeah,
about versus back then and
yeah,
now. I don't think. the seriousness is serious anymore because
Okay.
it's so easy to put records out and put it on the internet, and everybody has access to a DAW on their computer.
Yep.
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 It's like people are not caring about how these records are put together, and they don't care about how they come out. So that's the difference from now and back then. Like people took these records serious. You couldn't just put out whatever. You know, this record. What's that record? 310 Babby. Is that his name? We could
I'm
never.
not hip.
Oh man, what's that record called?
I don't- something.
Where
Something.
he'd be like, don't do no running, stop, something like that. But anyway, back in the day, they would never put out a record like that because the mic, the vocal sound muffled. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like
right.
the sonically is just it doesn't make
Terrible.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is where we are now. We are in that space where you could put out a record that sounds like
Crap.
pretty much, yeah,
You
Yeah.
know,
Ain't gonna cookie cut it. Crap.
yeah.
you brought up production, and I wanted to ask you, when you start a beat, what's your what hi- what hits first for you? Drums, bass, key, sample, voice, the artist's voice in your head that
Mhm.
you're making the track for. Is there a What's your methodology in regards to constructing?
Um, it was a whole method to my madness, man. I will come to the studio. I would be in the car, and I would purposely play jazz music.
Hmm.
Now I would play that because that's the calmest music, and I would want to go from calm to angry. So to get them records like a Trigger Got No Heart, or you know uh, something that was real aggressive, I had to listen to something that was soft.
Opposite. Yeah.
Have Yeah, direct opposite. It's almost like because on the radio they'll play something fast and then the next record is gonna be slow, right? So I kind of had that embedded in my DNA where I had to listen to something slow and then I'll be in the mood for something fast later. So that was
Mm.
my process. I make sure I be listening to that jazz on the way and then, you know, silence out and then, go for that aggressive.
It's killer time.
Now I'm feeling like, oh, get
Interesting.
into it.
It's the murder show.
There you go.
And
Yep.
let me ask this: what's and through the years, what pieces are you working with now? What's your favorite pieces to create on?
So through the years, my favorite piece, uh, you know, of all time is going to be the 808, rolling 808. That right there was like,
Bread and butter.
it was a mistake
Mm.
that made millions.
Yes,
It
it
was a
did.
mistake that made millions, man. Every
Mm-hmm.
time I learn or every time I hear the story that rolling 808 the K on that was a mistake, it just kills me because man, that
Crazy.
to this day that 808 is still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It'll never go away. I don't think it'll always be
Ever
here.
everlasting bass.
Everlasting bass. So the 808 started with the 808. Then we graduated to SB 1200.
Love that piece.
Yes, and then SB 1200. After that, it was the MPC 62.
62. Okay.
And then we got keyboards after the D50 and the Ensoniq. We got the M1, the Korg M1.
The Korg M1.
Korg
That's a
M1. Then
classic.
we expanded our mix board to a Spirit Audio, and that was like kind of like the first uh, low budget automation board because SSL was like the only boards having automation where you could move the faders by
Yeah, I
write the
remember.
faders and stuff like that. So we had this board called Spirit Audio, and man, we was working at, and that was made. That was when we came out with what's that chick name? Champ MC. Keep it on the real. That was like
Okay.
our first.
Okay, remember that.
Yeah, yeah. That was like when we got that board. It was like, oh, now we twisted now.
And watching them motorized faders move was that was like, yeah, we doing some shit now.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
love to
sir.
watch that move. Yeah, that was crazy.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
and what you working with now? Right at this
So
moment,
now I'm just working with a
computer.
computer.
Okay.
Yeah, man. When I was with Ski, we collected a whole bunch of outboard gear and a whole bunch of just like keyboard gear. And when I left, I said I don't need none of that shit. I just need me two turntables and my laptop. I left with that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that's what I'm using to this day with keyboard controllers, and that's it. Keyboard controllers, of course, live instruments, because I play the guitar, the
Okay.
bass. Yeah, so,
I
yeah,
have a
man.
question for you. In your
Yes,
own
sir.
opinion, uh, which record best represents your fingerprint as a producer?
Ooh. Uh, hmm. I would say, man, that's a hard question, man. That's a hard question. Could you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. Basically, just as a producer, out of all of the works and tracks that you've done, what record best represents your producer fingerprints?
Hmm. As simple as this record is, I would have to say San Quinn's Hell Yeah. And
San
I say
Quinn,
that
man.
because I produced it from basically from top to bottom. Not the lyrics, but as far as the way I wanted it constructed.
Hmm.
When the beat was made, I knew I wanted Alan Anthony on the hook. But I knew this record was going to San Quinn. Now San Quinn was at the time dope rapper. You know, everybody from every hood loved San Quinn. Whatever he did, he was good as gold. But the one thing he didn't have was a hit record or that record everybody could sing along with.
Mm.
And when we
Yeah.
did the Hell Yeah record, um, I, he was on the phone with Ski, and I grabbed the phone and said, "Look, man, I'm a super fan of your work, and I think you got one of the dopest voices in the Bay or in this hip hop business, period." I said, but all the records that you got that I listen to, I don't want to listen to them again. I don't want to sing them, none of that. And we need to make something like that. So I told
Hmm.
him, I was like, hey, man, you remember Educated Rapper on Roxanne Roxanne? He was like, hell yeah. I was like, I ain't saying you got to do that, but the way he was word playing that, you got to find whatever word play that you got in your body, bring it out. And that's what he came with, man. Live in the flesh, live in the flesh, free of all suckers if it's live in the flesh.
Yeah, man.
So
Did you
That
ever
beat
get a
sucks.
did you ever get a chance to do anything or be around like 11.5?
man, I would have loved to be around them cats, man. I love the energy they had, but
Yeah.
never had a chance. Never
That
had a
was some
chance.
classic shit back in the
Yes,
day
sir.
too, bro.
Yes,
Like all
sir.
of that.
Yes,
What
sir.
about Mac Mall?
Oh man, so it was kind of like the top Tupac thing.
Yeah,
We was in talks about it, it just never happened.
gotcha.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of all these classic, like, Bay
Mhm.
Area rappers,
Yeah.
and artists. I mean, there's so much
Mhm.
that came out of the Bay, and let alone West Coast music and everything.
Mhm.
It's just,
Right.
just the history's deep there. Here we're gonna transition real quick to I want to know what's the most expensive lesson you learned in the music business.
Most expensive lesson I learned is learn the music business. Because if you don't, that's gonna be your expensive lesson. All that publishing you missing out on.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's your biggest lesson right there. Because you could be getting all that. So that's yeah. My thing is, well, this is what I have to say. For producers or rappers, anybody, make the publishing thing priority. Get your ASCAP, get your BMI. You have to get that, man. Claim your record. It's your record. Claim it. And that's my PSA for the day, man. Like, it's a lot of unclaimed publishing out there with a lot of artists that you would think that would have they publishing and they don't. And it's like, oh my goodness, man, look at all the money you're missing.
And to
So that's
add to
my,
that,
you
yeah.
know,
And to add to that, we was actually me and Boogie was just talking about that. It's the way it is now. Like back in the day, some shiesty dude can take your
oh
public.
yeah, yeah,
Right now, there's no way you could submit that
yeah,
without the proper split. So
exactly
you should
that part,
have your publishing.
exactly.
Yeah, and that's the next thing I wanted to follow up with is like when the credits get lost, the split sheets disappear, or business goes sideways. How does that
Hmm.
affect the way people remember history? Because I know, for instance, that there may be some misconception about your history or the history of some of the production work
Yeah.
and everything about that. Why don't you tell us
Well,
about that?
I'm just gonna keep it a buck, man. I mean, while the legacy was going, we was faking the funk. I was doing all the beats, and Ski got credit because we working together. I mean, you do the business part, I do the beats. So and I ain't got no problem with you having credit on the beats because we working together and we're a team, and that's what's happening. So, but in reality, yeah, I was in the studio every day, 6 days a week to be exact. While he was in the other room, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. It could have been playing with us at whatever. But I mean, that's just how it was. And when it was time to get these tracks to whoever we needed to get it to, Ski was the man that made sure he got it to whoever artist we wanted to get it to. So
Mm.
he was, like I said, he was the businessman, 100%. I was the beat man, 100%. When we started, we both was doing it, but once business came into play, somebody had to take one of the things more serious and the other thing more serious. So that's just
Right.
how it went. And then in a typical production day, started it would start with a phone call from either him or I would call in the morning, and we talk about how the day's gonna, what we're gonna work on. I get to the studio, and I work on it. And the way I worked on beats, I never, which is, I might add, while my hearing is probably not the best right now, I'll keep it a buck. But I used to make my beats in the headphones. I didn't play them until it was fully complete. Then I
Mm.
play it out, be like, "What you think?" But I never, uh, you know what I'm saying? You would never hear me creating the beat outside of the headphones.
Well, let me ask you that. What was your favorite headphones to that where you heard what you was hearing
Hmm.
sounded exactly what you was hearing in your headphones when it came out those speakers? What was your
I'm a
best
headphone
Oh,
junkie.
so
Me
now I have to
too.
give another shout out to engineer that I learned my work from was Joe Capers,
Okay.
Blind Man Joe's what they call him. He was out of the Oakland Hills. He worked with the Tonys, uh,
Okay.
Mike Marshalls, all them, all the greats that was back in the '80s with that. He worked with
Mm-hmm.
all them,
Wow.
and he was damn. What was the question again?
What
Oh, the
was your
head.
favorite headphones? Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh
you was.
yeah, so he had these nice headphones, and I had to make sure I had some, but they was the AKG 240s, AKG 240s.
Those cost
Now
a little
they,
bit.
what'd you say?
I said those cost a little bit.
They cost a little bit, but
They're
whatever
worth it.
sound you put in there, you was gonna get. It was gonna come out the speaker, whatever was in there.
Mm. I had
They
some sign
bleed a little
house.
bit, but the sound couldn't was unbelievable.
Mm. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some sign houses like that, and they
Oh,
was real
okay.
and soft on the ear too, especially if you mixing,
Right.
because you're mixing and other people sleep or something like that, and you don't want what take that headphone off and your ear like you got like like you've been boxing, getting boxed in your ear.
Right.
Like, yeah, my
Yeah,
ear
man.
still feels good, or
Yeah, so
your
I
ear,
definitely
all
had full
sweaty.
ear head. I didn't mess with them half ear.
Yeah,
Like I got
fuck
some half
that.
ears on right now, but
Yeah,
back then I definitely had the full cover headphones,
The full cup,
comfort,
full
full
cover.
joint. Yep.
comfort. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember those AKGs. Never had a opportunity to get a pair of those. I was like, I ain't paying that much money for those.
Yeah.
Especially at that time, I was like,
Hmm.
these things ain't gonna last. Uh, they're not gonna
Especially
last
if
the
you're using them a
DJ and the
lot like that.
sound. Like I was
You're
gonna be
not just
DJing and doing sound with them. Like
yeah, yeah.
I'd have had them chords all effed up and
Oh yeah,
just
you'd have yeah,
all,
you would
yeah,
abuse them.
yeah,
Yeah, you would abuse them because
Shout
we
out to
was
Magic.
just all they did was sit there on the mic stand and that was it.
I
yeah.
remember,
So
remember somebody broke my sign hours. But shout out to Magic Mike. As I was asking that question, I look over, he was asking the same thing in the
Yeah.
chat.
Uh, you know, just to kind of circle into what you're currently doing, because I know that that's really important as far as, your current uh projects and what you're doing and putting out and your plans for, the future, what you have on deck. Shout out to that Give You the World with Izrell. And you have a
mhm.
lot of tracks with that cat. And you've got a lot of
Yeah,
tracks with a lot of
yeah.
super dope folks. Like you guys need to make sure, and I'm going to put the link tree in the chat once again for you guys to make sure you follow, because it'll link off to every single thing that you can get your hands on with
Hmm.
all of his new projects. But it just kind of get us up to speed with what's current and what's now and what the plan is going forward. And
Oh man, what's going on now is way under par media. It's my media company and we working on films and shorts and more albums and projects like that. Right now, my artist that I work with on just on the label side is Izrell and this young cat out of Arkansas, Darius Music.
salute.
So yeah, so and like the only cats I'm working with right now, and those are my only focus. And just putting some CMT Miraculous music. I mean, I've been wanting to do my singing thing for like years now, so this is
Okay.
the time that I want to do it. But this time around, it's not going to be like like totally me on the beats. I'm getting help from other producers because I want to focus more on being an artist while I got producers bringing me ideas, and then I could take that idea and make it mine or whatever the case may be. So that's just where I'm at with this music stuff, man. I'm just doing singles right now. The singles is "Give You the World." Next singles will be coming out next month with "Deed to Grieve," G Stack. That one's called "Text Me
Yeah.
Instead," and so
Shout
so
out to
this is
G
what I'm
Stack.
doing. I'm just working out these singles until I guess I'm in album demand. I was gonna put out an album, but a smart marketing person said, "Nah, I better wait on that." So I'm gonna wait on putting this album out and you know put out
Did
some
you
more singles, get the buzz cracking.
did you put out the drugs LP, or you still kind of holding off?
It's done. It's
Done.
waiting.
It's waiting.
So like I said, that's why I say I'm in single mode right now until
Absolutely.
I build more of a following.
That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
actually they gave you good advice on that. Get
Yeah.
that buzz. You can keep hitting them with singles, and then boom, you
Mhm.
already got that ready to roll out.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And to get you to be able to play a song before we get up out of here. I'm looking on, the Way Under Par Media site, on the YouTube page, and you've got the type of shit we on, you've got Jack Johnson Plague, you got
Mhm.
Vibe, like
Right.
any of those ones that you'd like to play, or is there another one that you'd like to play? Anything else that
Uh, Man. Uh, have your pick, man. Vibe, Jack Johnson play. The Jack Johnson record. I mean, if you just want to get into that a little bit.
tell us about that
Um,
story? Because
yeah.
that's a dope. It's yeah, please.
Yeah. So that Jack Johnson, if you don't know about Jack Johnson, he's a boxer
Mm-hmm.
back in 1908. And back in the day, it wasn't cool to mess with the opposite, white
Right.
people
Hey,
and like
yeah.
that. But he didn't care. He was whooping dudes' ass and was like, "Yeah, I'm about to go mess with your wife when I'm done."
I'm gonna whoop your
You
ass
know?
and fuck your
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah, he was that type of cat.
I love it.
But there was not many, cats like him. But now we're in an era today where there are a bunch of interracial relationship. So I basically just wanted to touch on that because I noticed me as an individual, I was leaning towards, you know, messing with white women versus messing with black women. So I just felt like, you know, I need to write a song about it because this is a thing, and it don't seem like it's going the opposite way. So just some to just bring awareness, but I had to also bring the reasons why I think I started leading towards going white because I was hanging around a whole bunch of light skinned people, and you know if you hang around light skinned dude and you trying to get at chicks, they looking at the light skinned, they ain't looking at the dark skinned dude. At least back in the young days,
Yeah.
women get a little
You talking
more
about the
seasoned
Albie Shore
about
era?
melanin and all of that earlier when they get
That
older. But
that light skinned
back
nigga
then,
area.
light skin is the
Until Q-Tip said it back, black is back.
right, right. So you know, I just kind of wanted to touch on the things that kind of led me to start messing with white women, at least from my point of view.
Got you. Dope. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that you sampled one of my favorite boxers, Mike Tyson, the one and
Yeah,
only OG.
yeah, man, yeah.
So we're gonna get into this track. It's Jack Johnson Plague, y'all. And looking forward to playing this. And here we go, y'all.
Yeah.
Jack Jordan. Listen. In 1908, you got lynched for looking at white women. Reckless eyeball. I don't put myself in the league of Jack Johnson fighting in the ring, and there's 75,000 people saying I'm gonna kill you. This is what they're saying. This is what they're saying in the ring. Oh, he's trying to fight. You know what he's doing? Oh, he's got boom, and he's talking to the guy's wife. How you doing, Miss Jeffrey? And these two guys that.
Started out Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck. Across the street, Tom and Amy. What the Just Bill and BET. The only time commercials look like me. Yeah, pops, fair skin, eyes, hazel green. Youngin' that I met on the block. First crush that I had on the block. And 3 more homies on the block. kung fu flicks with my big cuz. Can you guess what a shade was? Teamed up with the same thing. Who really knew he wanted whiter dames? Before I knew it, I was on the same scheme. It's like a motherfucking epidemic. You know it's like a fucking pandemic. Quickly spreading like the plague. While my black queen in the panic.
Do you hate your own kind? Do you hate your own kind? Do you hate your own kind? I'm the section, do you? Do you hate your own kind? Do you hate your own kind? Do you hate your own kind? I'm the section, do you? 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 Hate your own kind? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Hate your own kind? To each his own, I ain't judging, I'm the section. Questions. Do you look in the mirror and they just skin complexion? Sought after price, possessing skin colors, top rhyming. What did Jamie Foxx and Byron Allen got in common? A lot of ground to be covered in a short time. He said he loved vanilla, but ain't butter pecan. His mom's drunkers, it's the road with the coarse hair. But his breakfast ain't nothing close to that there. All spare and loving more, that's what I heard. Teaching kids white doves, pretty, not the blackbirds. Don't say we obtuse for having this discussion. How about them slave masters raping all them black women? Producing light-skinned seeds that get treated better than the dark-skinned seeds they yelling the house niggas. Kuta Kinte, Britney Spears at the sushi bar. Guess who mad as fuck? Dr. Umar. Is it really systemic? Push the skin color to the limit. His daddy got a problem with his son. Date 9 black women. Is your beauty in the eye? Get a beholder. Is he a sellout if he like the white mocha? Do you hate your own kind? Do you hate your own kind? Do you hate your own kind? I'm the section, do you? Do you hate your own kind? Do you hate your own kind? Do you hate your own kind? I'm the section, do you? 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 Hate your own kind? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Hate your own kind?
The black girls used to call me ugly propaganda. We're gonna deal with that tonight because I'm a little tired of black men pushing. Black girls called me ugly in middle school, so I'm dating white women and giving them all my money in my 40s and 50s. I'm not quite buying that line of logic and reason.
Man, that the concept, and let me tell you, the beat is fucking fire, but the,
Everything.
con-
Right on.
the concept is like, my major in college when I was playing ball was IT, but my
Okay.
minor was African American Studies. So it's
Okay.
like this is like just read everything black from in history because history has a way of repeating itself if you don't learn it, don't know it, knowledge of self. So I'm sitting
Mm-hmm.
here, just everything is like, yeah, this is my type of shit. What what
Right
we're
on,
talking about right
man.
here. That was deep and lyrically that was. Woo, I like that. That's going on my list. I'm gonna have to play that one again.
Right on, man.
Hey,
Appreciate
man.
that.
CMT Miraculous. Listen, man.
Yeah.
I mean, from everybody that you've worked with, like you've worked with the greats of the West Coast, man, and been in the room with the greats of all of the iconic West Coast artists and everything like that. And, you know, I hope you get an opportunity to get your just due because, and I hope that, you know, you come back and and bless us with another opportunity to, of course, highlight in everything that you have coming out in the future, but also to go back and get some of these stories and a little bit more in depth. And because there's some things I'd love to ask you, but being respectful of your time and everything like that, and also being respectful of making sure that we talk about your current story and
For
what
sure.
you have going on right
You
now.
coming back, nigga. You coming back.
Oh
We
yeah,
bringing
for
you
sure, man. I'll
we
be
bringing you
back.
back, man.
This is good.
And another one, but I honestly do want to say thank you very much for taking time out of your day, your schedule. You were more than gracious in regards to scheduling this interview and
Man, thanks
and
for
doing
having me.
this, bro. Like,
Appreciate it.
nah, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. And once again, shout out to DJ Delicious for,
She's in
hooking
the
us up.
house.
Really appreciate that.
Shout out to
Yeah,
listen.
for sure. Yeah.
Much love to her. So, you got any shout outs before we get up out of here, fam?
Oh man, shout out to G Stack,
Shout
Israel,
out to G Stack and Israel.
uh,
Ill.
AG Cream City, uh, Soundwave, Poetic Beats, um, Faux Racks, Kenny Tweet, the Mechanics, been my long term old school homies, and Banks, and everybody that I deal with in this music business, man. Shout out to y'all, and if y'all, again, CMT Miraculous is like all my handles: Twitter, IG, Facebook, all of the above. So
And the link
CMT
tree is
Miraculous.
in the chat, y'all.
Yes,
So,
sir.
and multiple times, and I'm do it again just so you know. Like, so if you
Yes,
want to
sir.
know where
CMT
all
Miraculous, IG, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want. Just type in CMT Miraculous. I'm everywhere.
And get to his YouTube, the Way Under Par Media, and it's got 2 A's. 'Cause
Yes,
I,
sir.
w-
Mhm.
Two
I
A's
w-
and way under par.
yeah,
Media.
because I searched for it real quick while we was talking, and brought me up to a golf page. I said, I know this shit ain't it.
nine.
So
There is the link to the direct link to the Way Under Par Media 9072 on YouTube. And what we'll do also is I'm going to send you a collaboration link for this interview, and you can throw it up on Way Under Par Media if you want to, and
For sure.
we'll have a collaboration together
That's what's
in
good.
regards to this interview.
Yeah.
So Fresh, got any shout outs, family, before we get up out of here?
oh, shout out to you, Boogie Man, and shout out to Delicious. Great hook on the interview, bringing CMT Miraculous in here. Shout out to CMT Miraculous. Just another great, dope podcast show here on B-Boys Underground. We appreciate all y'all listening in. Poochie, you're probably asleep by now, but thank you for starting the show with us. Shout out to everybody in Cincinnati, Denver, and out there in the Bay Area. We love y'all. We will be back. We're going to keep the shows running. You'll see me on Wednesday. You'll see Boogie on other nights, bringing new artists, new entertainment to talk about this thing we call hip hop.
That's
Love
right.
y'all. Love y'all.
Yes, sir. So look, keep it positive, keep it persevering, keep pushing, keep it pimping. As the Yodis took I think they heard my, and they took it. I'm sorry, but keep
What's
it
that?
positive, keep persevering, keep pushing. And then they said, keep it pimping. But look, I know Yodis, we're waiting for you to get out on over here on B-Boys. But yo, stay in the present, not in the past, not in the future. Don't trip. All you got is here, right now. Breathe in, breathe out. Much love. We up out of here. I'll see
Rollo.
y'all. Oh,
Hey,
let me
yo.
announce one thing. Next week, we've got an amazing week of guests. We have coming up on Tuesday. We're gonna start Tuesday off with DJ E Boogie out of Philadelphia and DC. Amazing DJ, streamer on Twitch, and also radio touring DJ. He's an amazing artist. Then Wednesday, same B-Boy time, same B-Boy channel, we'll have the one and only Big V, formerly from Nappy Roots, will be in the studio with us live chopping it up. And then that Thursday, we're going to have an artist that is trending and is very, very famous. He's a creator of Take This sample. His name is Chad Mazzara, and he is a dope artist. He's got a new album out. Make sure you tap in. We got B-Boys Underground
Yeah.
for you every single fucking day next week. So much love. We out, y'all. Peace.
Rollo.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, follow. From my city to your world, we are City World.